Hello, fellow Inquisitors, Split Persona here, and welcome back to Inquisitor Martyr. We are going to be doing a very special next couple of episodes while I'm waiting for my PC to arrive. We are going to be covering the different character classes. So, there are 3 main classes and 1 DLC. And we will be covering 1 per episode. So that's going to be 4 episodes total. Today, we are going to be covering the Crusader. Now, each class has 3 subclasses. So for the Crusader, there is Assault, Tactical, and Heavy Gunner. And we will actually go and look at each individual one and go over their armor that they start with. We'll go over their weapons that they start with. And we may even get a chance to look at some actual gameplay of each one. So, yeah, let's go and jump right into the episode. Okay, so the first one we have here is the Assault Crusader. Now, I skipped the tutorial and everything else, so we're going to start out at level 5. Now, for your attributes, you have Warfare, Toughness, and Virtue. Virtue is going to increase your focus and suppression damage per point. Toughness is going to increase your HP and suppression per point for your character. And then Warfare is just going to increase your base damage. And then as you upgrade them, you unlock each of those milestone perks. So, not much here, just your basic, character customization points. Your inventory for what you start with is this. You have a basic common neural implant, an artificer's eye implant, a main artificer's eye implant, but your assault armor is what sets your character apart as far as the other classes. So what the assault armor does is it gives you assault jump. Basically, you perform an aerial assault with the jump pack. Landing deals aerial damage. Basically, you perform a jumping attack and you basically ground pound into your enemies with this. So that's what that armor does. So if you pick up assault armor, that's what that does. Your power sword, is a one-handed weapon that can be used in conjunction with a shield. So it has 2 attacks. It has a Blade Fury, single target attack that can be chained into an attack combination with a devastating final blow. And then you have Wide Strike. Sweeping close quarters attack hits multiple enemies. So you have a single target and you have a multiple target. Your shield takes up your other 2 attack slots. So you have Block. Shield mounted defensive field absorbs all frontal damage as long as it is held, reducing suppression damage taken by 80% and providing immunity to knockdown effects. So this will basically protect you as long as you have this ability activated. Discharge releases a disruptive kinetic blast. So basically it's just like a knockback. So that is what the other 2 abilities in your shield slot do. Then in your second weapon set, you have the Greatsword. That comes with all 4 abilities. You have Blade Fury, single target attack that can be chained into an attack combination with a devastating final blow. Same as what is on the Power Sword. Same thing there. Then you have Wide Strike, which is the same as the other one. But these 2 here are unique to Greatswords. Crippling Strike, single devastating close quarters blow. Then you have Spinning Blow, single attack that hits multiple targets around the character in melee range. Basically, it'll go and spin you around like a top. So that is the armor and the weapons that you start with. And let's just spin him around. Whoop. Don't know why I did that, but let's just spin him around a little bit so you can actually get to admire how he looks. So, yeah. Now, the other thing that sets each character apart in the subclasses is their passives that they have unlocked. For this character here, for the Assault Crusader, he has melee unlocked, ranged combat unlocked, single damage unlocked, area effect, physical attacks, aimed shots, critical hits, damage over time, heat attacks, support, debuffs, suppression, health, and defense. Like I said, Crusaders are very tanky characters. They are designed to take the hits and dish out the hits. They are your tanks in this game. So that is your Assault Crusader pretty much down to the... And they start out with the Rabble Slayer. 60% melee damage bonus when surrounded. So yeah, they deal a ton of melee damage. They are very much melee focused with the Assault. So that's the Assault character. And we're going to go on to the next one. Okay, so our next one is our Tactical Crusader. Now, same thing. We're starting out at level 5 because I skipped the tutorial. And he has the same basic attributes. You know, virtue, toughness, warfare, they all do the same things. But in his perk slots here, he has run and gun. 100% ranged damage bonus for 1 second after moving. He is very much your ranged combat. So if we look at his inventory here, he has, you know, a little bit different gear up here, you know, a little bit different gear here. But what he starts with is the Sentinel armor. Deploy Tarantula Sentry. Deploys a stationary sentry gun, maximum of 3. It self-destructs after 60 seconds. This here is actually very good. Like, you can become a one-man army with just this. If you want to lay down some suppressing fire, this is the way to do it. And like I said, you can use this armor on any class. So this right here will shred through enemies. And the fact that you can deploy up to 3 of them, very handy in a fight. So that is the armor that he starts with, is the Sentinel armor. Now, his las pistol is his weapons that he starts with in his first set. So, single shot, delivers a single shot at the target. Nice and simple. Short burst, a short burst that fires multiple shots. Aimed shot, single target that attack that can be used to deliver precision attacks by holding down the attack button. Dual beam, twin laser beams, pierces all obstacles and damages all objects and enemies in its path. So this is a pistol, so he can actually dual wield this. So this actually comes in very nice for him. And as he is a ranged expert, he will be dishing out a lot of ranged damage, especially with this little perk back here, 100% ranged damage bonus for 1 second after moving. So you're going to want to move, stop, and shoot. Move, stop, and shoot. Constantly. Oop, not there yet. We still have to look at the second slot. The auto gun. That is his other weapon that he comes equipped with. Short Burst. A short burst that fires multiple shots. Full Auto. Continuous fire as long as you are holding the button. Aimed Shot. Single target attack that can be used to deliver precision attacks by holding down the attack button. Shoot and repeat. And retreat. Sorry. Continuous fire while moving away from the target until you release the button. This one actually is... It sounds weird, but it actually does come in very handy if you start to get surrounded. You can actually use that ability to still fire, and your character will automatically start to back up and still aim and shoot at the enemies in front of it. Which, that actually, I can't tell you how many times I've used that to my advantage. And yeah, just take a look at him real quick here. So, then we're going to go on to the passives. So, in here he has melee combat, ranged combat, single DPS, area effect, physical attacks, execution, aimed shots, critical hits, damage over time, heat attacks, supports, debuffs, suppression, movement, health, and defense. He pretty much has everything unlocked for the most part, except for the Puritan path and the radical path, which you don't unlock until you actually progress in the story. Those are actually story-specific paths that you have to unlock. So these you can't even get to until you actually do the story. So he has just about everything unlocked when you start with him. So if you're looking for a character that is just well-rounded and, you know, good to start with, just to get a feel of how the game plays, you know, which way do I want to go, this would be the one I would recommend. Simply because you can spec into any of the trees immediately off the bat without having to wait to unlock them. So, let's say you wanted to go and try to go combat focused in melee. Well, you would go melee, physical, you know, all that stuff. Well, let's say you changed your mind, you just remove all those perks and immediately put them into your ranged combat. And you don't have to wait to unlock them. So he is going to be a very good one to start with, I would say, as a beginner class. He's going to have a lot of perks focusing on ranged, and his Tarantula Sentry that he starts with is a very good support item to help you survive in tough situations. So, all in all, a very good beginner class, I would say. So, let's continue on to the very last class. Okay, and our very last class for the Crusader, the Heavy Gunner. Same as before, he has the same attributes. He's got a few extra points, however, into Warfare. This guy here is very much going to be your damage dealer out of the three. He will be hitting the hardest and dealing the most in your entire group. Like, his pure existence is dedicated to purging heretics and destroying demons. So, his first perk that he starts with is Exalted by Murder. Plus 5% damage bonus on kill for 5 seconds, stacks 10 times. Every kill you make makes you stronger. He is very much a damage dealer. You will be killing and you will not be stopping with him. He is very much the one that will be going, and you are going to want him on the front line. So, what does he start with? He starts with the Demolition Armor. Cyclone Missile Launcher. Launches a barrage of unguided missiles that deal area damage. This character focuses on a few, in my opinion, weapons that are very much geared towards him. Anything that deals with area of effect, and anything that deals explosive knockback. So, because of how he is, where he's constantly dealing damage, the more damage you can deal in a larger area, the better you're going to be doing. So, his starting weapons are going to be the shotgun. Single shot, fires a shot of shotgun pellets, damaging all enemies in a cone in front of the character. Man Stopper round. Single shotgun discharge with heavy kinetic damage. Flechette round. Fire multiple high-velocity penetrator rounds. Can be charged by holding the attack button for a maximum of 3 seconds, which tightens the area effect cone. And Burst Shot. Fires several shots in quick succession, damaging all enemies in a cone in front of the character while advancing rapidly. So, like I said, he is very much going to be your frontline character, just by what he starts with. His other weapon is the auto gun, which we've already covered this weapon. It has short burst, full auto, aim shot, and shoot and retreat. So we know what that is. That's basically a medium range weapon. So he has a short range weapon, he has a medium range weapon, and he has a unguided explosive missile launcher on his back. And you can see it right there. It is, in my opinion, this is like one of the coolest looking armors. So I may be biased to it, but so that is what he starts with. Now, if we go into the passives, he has just about everything unlocked. Melee combat, ranged combat, single damage per second, area effect, physical attacks, execution, aim shots, critical hits, damage over time, heat attacks, support, debuffs, suppression, health, defense. The only one he does not have is he does not have movement. Now, movement is locked until you hit level 13. So, unfortunately, you will have to level him up in order to get to the movement. So he is going to be very slow. So he is going to be very much, he will be a heavy-hitting, slow-moving missile in the beginning until you can get to level 13. Then you can start putting some points into movement speed. But he is very much your heavy damage hitter, especially with this here. Like I said, this damage multiplier, Exalted by Murder, that stacks for 10 times. So every time you get a kill, it's just going to keep stacking and he's going to keep doing more and more damage. So, area of effect, you can get possibly all 10 of your kills in one shot with an area of effect weapon. So, the more you can do, the better off you're going to be. So, this is all 3 of the character classes for the Crusaders. So, that's their overview. And I'm just going to go and I'm going to close out the video by throwing up a little bit of a, just not much, just a little time lapse of gameplay from them, just to show off what they do.